Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much. It's never been easy for me to figure out exactly where I fit in the scheme of things. I feel like I've always been so jealous of those people who seem to know from a young age exactly what they wanted to do in life. Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, said she always knew that she wanted to be a writer. Jennifer Lawrence said that she always knew that she was going to be famous. So many successful people said they knew what they wanted and they went for it. They went through all the obstacles, overcame everything, and with years of work, they came out victorious. And when I heard that, I want that. I wanted that drive and to find something that I could do really well, to find what my purpose was so that I could really focus on that and do great things with it. So I knew that I needed to find my purpose. And when I started doing that, I worried about it a lot. I worried mostly about wasting my time because I wanted to get started. And I ended up stressing about wasting my time a little too much because I ended up equating every moment that I didn't use to fulfill my purpose as a moment that I was going to be unhappy and not helpful to people. Every minute I wasted was some puppy somewhere dying of whatever it was I was supposed to help him with. You can't enjoy binging Netflix with that thought in the back of your mind. You know, some people get inspired by these quotes about, get up off the couch, stop being lazy, you have as many hours in a day as Beyonce. But not me. Those kind of quotes just add to my stress because I already pressure myself and punish myself for killing puppies by not helping them. So the quotes that I need are the ones that say, whoever you are, you're good enough. Or if you swing and miss, God always pitches again. Or simply, whatever you're doing right now, you're not murdering puppies. Which happens to be my favorite proverb. So I figured if other people knew exactly what they wanted to do as children, basically, then I could analyze my childhood and figure out what my purpose in life was. So I called up my parents and I said, hey, what did you notice about me when I was a young child? Well, you did read at a very young age. Okay, purposeful. What else? Oh, and you were so cuddly. You just wanted to cuddle all the time. And you were always outside getting dirty. You were just our dirtiest boy. Thanks, Mom. So basically, other kids were at school writing down, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. And I was at home cuddling and eating dirt. Now, to be fair, that is, still what I do with about 50% of my time. But it didn't help me to figure out my purpose. After a while, I thought, man, maybe there is no special thing. Maybe it's just you pick some random thing and you do it, work really hard, and you'll be great at it. It doesn't matter what you choose. But watch me play sports, and you will know that that is wrong. The only thing that I'm good at in sports is getting hit in the head. It's true. My friends know this. It's uncanny. Like it's almost a magical thing that makes me feel like, yes, I am me. Still. I tried basketball, volleyball, soccer. I didn't try baseball because of the magnet head thing. That would have been really bad. But here I am, multiple concussions later, and I'm worse at sports than I ever was before. So if you're a pair of scissors trying to cut grass, you're never going to be as efficient as a lawnmower. But if you're a lawnmower, don't get a big head because no one's ever going to trust you to cut hair. It's a weird example, but I do believe everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and we should be aware of those. So what happened with me is I got to college, and that's where I started obsessing with my purpose, trying to figure out exactly what was the best thing to do. I changed my major from landscape management to philosophy to mathematics to journalism, and finally to mechanical engineering, which fit because I was good at math, and I loved science, and it was a good mix of the two. And more importantly, it was very important to other people. It was important to the world. It was a practical thing I could do to help the world and do things that I thought would make me feel like I was living with purpose. So I was slowly finding my purpose. But it was a lot of work, a lot of math, a lot of science, and I needed some relief from that. And so I decided to have a creative outlet, and I joined a comedy club on campus called Divine Comedy. And this was a welcome break from the math and the science. So Divine Comedy turned into, eventually, Studio C, which is the TV show I work for today. And it started out as just a part-time thing. I graduated with an engineering degree. I got a job as an engineer, and Studio C was something I did on the side. But then the craziest thing happened. The show grew to a point where they offered us full-time positions to work on the show. Now, this was crazy to me because I never thought I would ever get paid to be an actor, let alone a comedian, and I had this opportunity. But now I was in a dilemma. Do I stop pursuing my purpose, this important thing that was going to help the world, to go goof off for a while? But it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I decided, you know what, I'll just go do this for a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll be useful again. So I joined Studio C as a full-time employee, and that's when my life changed. We started getting letters from fans, some of them saying, "In my darkest days, the only thing that brightens my day is Studio C," or "We're so glad that we found high-quality entertainment we can watch together as a family. It brings us together and makes us feel like a unit." It almost started to seem like my goofing off was the thing that had purpose. And that's where my whole perspective changed. I realized that I had more purpose and was actually more useful by doing something that was important to me instead of doing something that I assumed was important to the people that I wanted to help. I learned a few things on this path and just a few tips that I wish I had known earlier, and that would have relieved a lot of stress for me. So I want to share those real quick, and hopefully if you've ever struggled with it, it'll help you too. So 3 tips for finding your purpose. Don't assume there's only one answer to this question. Find your style and collaborate with others and your environment. So don't assume there's only one answer. There actually isn't some one magical thing that you have to do in order to be useful and happy. In fact, in life, there are a lot of purposes that you'll have. Some will be lifelong purposes, some will be minute-long purposes. And it all depends on the opportunities that are given to you. When I was in college and I was studying engineering, that was the best opportunity for me. And I worked hard at it, and I was proud of what I accomplished there. But then when a better opportunity came, I took advantage of that. And it would have been silly for me to say, no, I already decided I'm an engineer and there's no going back, even though that's a better opportunity for me. And so if you're aware of the opportunities that you have and you're true to yourself, it turns out you're not wasting time and you're not killing puppies by doing what you love. Go out, make mistakes, and waste some time. But you have to know, what is it that you love and who are you? And that's bringing me to find your style, which is a little bit different from finding your strength. And let me explain. Austin Kleon wrote a book called Steal Like an Artist. So I'm going to steal one of his ideas. He said one of the ways that he is creative is that you can take little things that inspire you, and you take pieces of all those things that you love, that you want to emulate, and when you combine them together, you get something that's uniquely you. Because no one else would have chosen those exact inspirations, and no one else would have put them together the way you did. And I think that expands into our whole lives. That you take all of the things that you love, and think about why those things draw you to them. It's because all those pieces of the things that you love and that inspire you are reflections of pieces of you. I don't think you find yourself by sitting in a room by yourself staring at a mirror. You do it by going out into the world, expanding beyond your little bubble, and understanding what about the world resonates with you. So what does this tell us about finding our purpose? Well, it means that you don't just say, what are my strengths? But instead, what do I want my strengths to be? based on the things that you love. In fact, if we all only did things that we were already good at, the human race would end. Because think about it, who would ever become a parent? Nobody's good at that until they become one, right? Which brings me to my next point, fake it till you make it. Find your style by faking it, because there is no perfection in any effort. It takes a lot of failure even just to learn something. My favorite quote from Elizabeth Gilbert's book, Big Magic, is, "Done is better than good." But once you find your style, what's next? How do you know exactly what to do today to use your style to help people? And that brings me to my next point. Collaborate with others and with your environment. You can't help people if you don't first listen to them. You won't know exactly what their problems are or how to help them unless you understand them. MIT did a study about different groups and their productivity, and 3 groups came out of this study. The first group was a group with one high IQ member, a superstar of solving problems. Those groups didn't do that great. The second type of group was where all of them had a relatively high IQ, a lot of good problem solvers. Those didn't do that great. The third group was always very successful because they had high social sensitivity. So they had empathy and they listened to each other. Margaret Heffernan, who was a business expert and many-time TED speaker, said that she talked to producers of hit albums, and they talked about their superstars. And they said, "Oh, we have superstars. They come and they go. They don't have long careers. The people with long careers are the collaborators who bring out the best in others and therefore the best in themselves." And we found this back in Divine Comedy. When we would audition people, we would take all the people that auditioned and narrow it down to the 15-ish most funny people. We'd say, okay, from here forward, we don't care who's the funniest of these 15 people. The only thing we cared about was who worked well with people, who could collaborate, because that produced a group of people that was cohesive and brought the best in each other and was always better than any single talent. I can't tell you how many times this has happened in my marriage. I go in it with, this is the way we should do things, it's going to be great, but only to find that there's actually a better solution that I never would have come up with on my own. My wife is very wise, very kind, and she fills a lot of the holes that I have in my weaknesses. And I'm always happier and better off when I work with her on things, including this talk. I'm always more excited for my future when we act as partners to create a future that is beautiful and completely unique to us. So in conclusion, listen. Listen to the things that inspire you. Be aware of what inspires you and go outside of your bubble. In fact, waste time. Waste time doing things you love. And then listen to the people that you want to help, because it's not you who changes the world. It's collaboration that changes the world. Thank you.